Where the fuck did this game come from? I bet you're just like me and never even heard of this game until now. Black Oni. Introducing Ascendant.com, a cyberpunk retrofuturistic PvPvE that delivers a blast of 80s nostalgia to your jugular, that pits squads of 3 against each other in a constant battle for control over biocores. These biocores supercharge players with a shot of roid rage and make your journey back to your base to deposit in a tense battle of attrition. They're tanks, ATVs, lizards, snails, or whatever the f these things are. Players all trying to kill you and become an 80s, 24s legend. There's so many games coming at us left and right. It's hard, near impossible to keep up with everything. That's where I come in. Every once in a blue, I get exclusive access to some really cool games. And this is one of those cases. Yeah, I've done a shit job of making videos about them. I plan to make that better, but I do stream them. You should totally stop by my Twitch channel sometimes and check it out. If you like what you see, consider following, subscribing if you're feeling extra frisky. A lot of cool shit happens over there, but I'm gonna break down what my experience of playing this game has been like, and honestly, I had a pretty good time. Firstly, the aesthetic is, as our announcer friend noted, cyberpunk retrofuturistic. It's got an 80s flair emanating from every orifice, but there's also a mix of nature and technology. In the main hub, you definitely get that futuristic vibe, but out where matches play out, you're mostly in the jungle and industrial mixed environments. Characters and hairstyles are big, flashy, and colorful, and wonderfully obnoxious. There's also character customization. So for those like me who love to personalize your avatars and make them just right, you have a bunch of opportunities to make your character unique. There are also several afro hairstyles, so kudos to them for that, and plenty of colors to express yourself. You can add patterns and colors to your attire and even adjust the gradient of those patterns and designs. This game even features nudity, so for all my loot lovers out there, we got you covered. If I had to have any complaint about the aesthetics, it's that as far as I could tell, you couldn't go deeper into the facial or body feature customizations. There were some presets for the face, a few sliders here and there for like long or short for facial features, but no sliders at all for the body. You get what you get, but that's not to say that can't ever change. That's just where things are right now. Gameplay is pretty straightforward on the surface, but of course there's a lot more nuance to it than what meets the eye. In the hub world, which doubles as the lobby, there's a lot of things you can do there. You can select your loadout, play a game of hide and seek, interact with other players, and check out the other Easter eggs too. Shout out to the Gamer Nerd Shit. I love that. And you can learn more about the world that they're building here. Now, in terms of the loadout, you can choose between a battle rifle, a plasma rifle, a sniper, shotgun, and beam gloves, which heal, by the way. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Each weapon is tuned to fit a specific role, and as you progress throughout the game, the weapons sort of evolve. Let me explain. One of the devs explained how they tricked out their battle rifle to act more like an SMG with a high rate of fire and high mobility at the cost of long-range stability and accuracy. He then explained how you can set it to shoot slower and give you more of an advantage from a distance with higher base damage but lower rate of fire. It seems like each weapon will have its own set of modifications you can make to allow it to behave differently. Now, sadly, I didn't get to a high enough level to actually see that for myself and play around with that system, but maybe on the next playtest. Additionally, there are a bunch of cosmetic things you can do to your weapon to, again, help personalize your experience. Matches mostly play out the way you'd expect in a multi-team PvPvE session. Gunplay is smooth and responsive, but the guns have quite a bit of kick, so you have to control that recoil if you want to go full auto. There's a lot of verticality to the gameplay as well, especially when you consider how good the climbing mechanics are, and that the game encourages you to engage with the PvE elements just as much as the PvP. All teams are vying for control of the biocores, which is in a way a souped up capture the flag style mode split between several teams. You have objective markers throughout your session to help you locate the biocore to bring back to your base, and all along that journey other players are also fighting for dominance of the biocore. The cool thing is there's incentive for every team to have that biocore because it makes the holder tankier and gives them access to a specific ability that they can only use while they have that biocore. Now, of course, that makes you a bigger target since everyone can see where you are, but the objective is to be the team who's captured the most of these biocores. Now, in terms of the flow of combat, there's a downing system, so teammates can revive you, but if they don't make it to you, you lose a life. Lose 3 lives and you're out of the game, but not completely and totally. You see, if there are still other players alive, they can buy you back using power, or basically it's the in-game currency for the game. There's also loot in the game, and defeating creatures has a chance to drop certain loot. So certain colored tiered snails will have their own pool of loot available. Additionally, if you need to recharge your shields, meleeing creatures in the environment replenishes it, but you can also use items or have a player with a beam glove top you off. Now, the cool thing about the beam glove, for example, is whenever you're using it, you can heal your health or your shields, and you can do so to yourself or to your teammates, and you have the ability to hurt the other team using a kind of an auto-tracking short-range beam. It's a really cool addition to the game. It doesn't do that much damage, but it is really good as a utilitarian tool. But I'll say in my own experience that if you're trying to be like a pocket mercy, for example, it can only take you so far. Damage still will rip through people much faster than you can heal them. So it's really a great tool for popping someone off in between gunfights or in between reloading, for example. But in terms of like sustained heal, it's really not great for that. However, it is still interesting, and we've had I was doing this in a session to test this mechanic out, and someone else actually noticed that I was doing that, and it was making the fight last longer. But at the end of the day, damage is still going to be more than what you can do with a healing beam because you do have to reload it. Now, in terms of my gripes regarding the gameplay, they're pretty minimal. I actually really enjoyed this game and had so much fun. I just wanted to keep playing. There are a good number of ways to heal up, but I will definitely say that there aren't enough healing items or even ammo dispersed throughout the environment. Ammo conservation is pretty important, so I never really got the vibe that that was intentional based on what I've seen of the gameplay and how it's just over the top, high action, high impact type of thing. This could just be a thing that we just have to get used to, or it could just be something that just needs to be tuned a little bit differently. But I did find myself running out of ammo a few times more than I wanted, especially when I was shooting at some of the PvE elements, trying to take out some of the creatures in the environment. I didn't want to melee the entire time, but you're really incentivized to melee as much as possible. A, because it makes a lot less noise, and B, you waste a lot less ammo by doing that. The other thing I could say is that movement feels like it should be a little faster. Again, based on the aesthetic, based on the vibe that they're going for with this game, and with the verticality of the movement, for example, it just feels like it's just a tad too slow. Moments where you're like, man, I gotta book it, I gotta get out of here. It feels like you're getting bogged down a little bit. You can't move as fast as you want to. I know it's kind of a tricky thing to do. If you do it too fast, it's harder to track enemies and fights end up taking a lot longer to conclude. But if you have movement too slow, it feels like you can't really be as nimble as you really want to be in a game like this. So I don't envy the devs for figuring out that balance. It is what it is. I think it's just a little bit too slow, but only time will tell. There are also vehicles in the game, but most of the people I played with all said the same thing. I'd rather go on foot because controlling the vehicles just feels terrible. To their credit, it does feel pretty bad, but as long as you don't touch the mouse at all while you're driving, it's not too terrible. There has to be some kind of default configuration for the controls to allow it to be a lot slower than it is on mouse and keyboard, because it is insane. One of the vehicles in the game also has a mounted turret, and I'm sure there's a tank in there that has some kind of other ridiculous firepower that we didn't get a chance to really test out. But the mounted turret vehicle completely eviscerated our team. Now, to be fair, we were pincered between another team in a gunfight in addition to that, so that did not feel good getting mowed down by that vehicle. It didn't really feel like there was a lot of options we had available to stop them from doing that. I think at one point I downed one of them, or at least broke their shields, and they just kind of kept going. They didn't really mind it at all because they realized that they could just completely destroy us with that. Overall, I'm really interested in playing this again. The devs said that the build that we were on was like 5 versions behind. So I'm confident actually that they're going to continue making this game even better, because what's already there and what I've already experienced was really fun. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, remember to press the like button and subscribe so you can stay tuned to everything else coming to the channel. Click the bell notification icon as well so you can be notified whenever new videos drop. And yeah, you made it to the end of the video, so I assume you liked the video. So go, I know it's an extra step. I know it's more stuff that you have to do. It's homework. Do it for me because it really helps out. I want to get more content on YouTube, and the best way to do that is for me to know that you like what I'm putting out. Or if you don't like it, I guess press the dislike button. Either way, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Game on. Black Oni out.